Hi, my name's Miranda. We're going to be working or accessing the deep abdominals. So the layers of our abdominal muscles that really give us stability. So not the superficial muscles that will make you look great in your bikini or your swing trunks, but they will really help you if you have a bad back or if you've had a baby recently or an operation, that they will give you stability and strength. So we're going to come onto our backs. Arms by your sides. Actually, no, let's have hands resting on belly. So feet resting on the floor, just feet a little bit away from your bottom, comfortable distance away, shoulders away from your ears. We're going to just first of all start with the breath. The breath is so much a part of the tummy muscles, the engagement of tummy muscles if we use our diaphragm. So if we breathe in and up, our tummy muscles aren't part of the breath at all, and it's a much less healthy breath anyway. So what I want you to do is focus on the breath and breathing in and down. So as you breathe in, draw your breath down into your belly. You should feel your belly rising on the inhale and falling on the exhale. So as you breathe in, tummy muscles should relax for you to be able to breathe down into your belly. And as you exhale, they should engage. Notice, exhale more, exhale more. Notice how they engage a little bit more as you exhale. So inhale, relax the tummy muscles, draw the breath down into your belly. So it's a bit like a balloon expanding in your belly. Exhale, and exhale more. And if you know that you breathe in and up, I would recommend that maybe you watch one of my longer videos on breathing so you can really try and change that. If we breathe using the diaphragm, with each and every breath, our tummy muscles will be working with us. So just taking a few more breaths, observing this. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls. Breathing through the nose as much as possible. That too is a much healthier way to breathe. And then bring your knees in towards your chest. Hug your knees and rock from side to side. Give your back a nice massage. Rock from side to side. Then coming to center. And circle your knees. So bring your knees in towards you. Separate them, take them away from you and back together again. So 2 circles with the knees. And this movement might be just a little movement. It might be a movement that you feel happy to let it become bigger. So just making these circles as big as feels right for you. And with everything we do, just move in a way that feels good. Less is more. So if you have just had an operation, or you've just had a baby, really think starting slowly, starting small, and gradually build the movements up. Don't feel you have to push forwards to be bigger, more. More is not always more. Take the circles in the other direction. So again, just making those circles as big as feels right for you. Notice your tummy muscles working here. Just gentle engagement in the abdominal area. Notice your back getting a lovely massage. Muscles around the hips working, but that includes the pelvic floor. See if you can feel the pelvic floor getting a good workout. And again, when our pelvic floor is healthy, it works with every single breath that we take. So bring the feet back onto the floor. And we're going to do pelvic tilts. So take your arms down by your sides. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, tip your pelvis back so your lower back presses down and squeeze your pelvic floor. It's a sense of together, in and up. Inhale, tip your pelvis forward. So a little arch happens in your lower back on that inhale. Relax your pelvic floor. Exhale, tip your pelvis back, lower back presses down, squeeze your pelvic floor. Inhaling when you're ready to, pelvis tips forwards, pelvic floor relaxes, lower back arches. Keep going with that. Observing how on the exhale, tummy muscles and pelvic floor engage on the exhale. On the inhale, they relax. And this should happen with each and every breath, but if we breathe in and up, it doesn't. So we're just really trying to reconnect these muscles with the breath. It's also really great if you have a bad back, this movement. Lovely medicine for the back. And then come back to neutral. And bring your hands to rest on your hip bones. So the hands are not going to actually do anything, they're just going to be observing. So what we're going to do is we're going to access the deepest abdominal layer, which is a little bit like a corset around our middle. So on the exhale, we're going to attempt to draw the hip bones towards each other. You should feel your belly flattening. Inhale, relax. Exhale, attempt to draw your hip bones towards each other. It's from the inside. Feel the belly flattening. Inhale, relax. The hands are just going to be observing. They're not pushing inwards. They're just watching. So exhale, attempt to draw your hip bones towards each other. Feel your belly flattening. Inhale, relax. And if that instruction doesn't work brilliantly for you, visualize that you've got a corset around your middle and it's being tightened on the exhale. So the same effect of that muscle engaging, your belly flattening, your waist narrowing, belly flattening. Inhale, relax. Exhale, hip bones towards each other and belly flattens. Inhale, relax. And if you have just started with that, keep going with this until you really feel that belly is flattening, you feel that engagement and you're building up strength here. If you feel you're ready to move to stronger versions of it, we're going to take a foot off the floor and then straighten the leg, but only do what feels right for you when your body's ready. But if you're happy, exhale, hip bones towards each other, belly flattens, lift your right foot off the floor. Inhale, foot back down. Exhale, hip bones towards each other, belly flattens, lift your left foot off the floor. Inhale, foot down. Exhaling, belly flattens, right foot off the floor, or just stay with the breathing just there. You could even just take a heel off the floor just to make it just a slightly gentler version, building up to it. So just taking a heel off rather than the whole foot. But if you're happy to make it further, make it stronger, next time we're going to straighten the legs. So it's a longer exhale. Exhale, hip bones towards each other, belly flattens. Lift your right foot off the floor, straighten your leg so it hovers just above the floor. Bend the leg, bring the foot back down, and then inhale. Exhale, hip bones towards each other, belly flattens. Lift your left foot off the floor, straighten it so it hovers just above the floor. Bend the leg, then inhale. So keep going with the version that works for you. If you're straightening the leg, it's all on a long exhale. Make absolutely sure that your belly is flattening, that you're not arching your back. If your back arches, it means your tummy muscles are tiring and the back is trying to do the job. So just listening to your body, and it may just be, as I suggested, that you're taking a heel off the floor on that exhale. So you're just building for that foot coming up off the floor. And when you feel you've had enough, just stop, both feet on the floor. And then bring both knees in towards your chest, hug your knees and rock from side to side. And then we're going to circle the knees. So have your hands on the knees to begin with. They can slide down if you feel you're happy to. But just make one circle with the knees. So start off small. Observe how that feels. And you may feel you're happy to make that circle a little bigger. So just making that circle bigger if you're happy to. And the hands might slide down the thighs and slide back up again. Just observing. Just making those circles as big as feels ready for you. And again, you may want to build with it over time. Don't rush to be doing everything today. And then take that circle in the other direction. Again, just making those circles as much as feels right for you. And then bring your feet back down onto the floor. Then take them wider. So if you have a mat, they're now coming to about as wide as the mat. Or if you don't have a mat, just widen your hips. Take your hands behind your head if that feels okay. Otherwise, you can have your arms out by the side. Inhale. And exhale, take your knees over to the left. Just again, as far as feels good and feels right for you. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, take your knees over to the right. Again, just to where feels good. Inhale, back to center. Exhaling over to the left. You may feel you can go further, and you may feel it feels nice to reach your way with your right knee. But just only if that feels good for you. Inhaling to center. Exhaling over to the other side. So just going to where feels right for you. Keep going. Just listening to your body here. We're just waking up the obliques, the muscles that take us into a twist. The second deepest layer of the abdominal muscles. So these are the muscles that take us into a side bend, take us into a twist. They narrow the waist. Really key for our flexibility and strength. Just moving in a way that feels good. If you've had an operation, really be mindful of that, of the healing. Don't push, don't rush to try and do stronger movements. Starting small, building up. And then come back to center. And bring your feet together. I'm going to do the same thing with the feet together. So taking your knees over to one side. And again, just maybe it's a little bit. Maybe you haven't gone too far. Inhaling to center. Exhaling over to the other side. So just rocking maybe onto the sides of the feet. So it's maybe you've just taken one foot off the floor and just rocking. Maybe you feel you can go over further. Taking the knees over to the side. And that's only if it feels good and you're ready for it. So it's moving further when you're ready. Right over, but maybe that rocking stays small. So again, just listen to your body. Do what feels right, build into it. And then come to center. And bring your knees in towards your chest. So now this one is stronger, especially if you move further. So do move in a way that feels right for you. Don't go too far. Inhale. Exhale, take your knees over to the left just a little bit. Inhale, back to center. Exhale off the right just a little bit. Inhale to center. And that may well be as far as you go, just a little bit off to one side. Back to center. Just a little bit off to the other side. And back to center. But you may feel when you've built and when you're ready for it to take the knees over further, just being aware that the further you go, the stronger this is going to be. So just really moving slowly, listening to your body, making sure you only go as far as your body is ready to go. So again, if you've just had a baby, you've just had an operation, going further is not where you're going to be going yet. But if you've been working on these muscles for a while and you're ready to go further, you can take them over further. Coming back up on the inhale. Over again on the other side. Just being aware that the further you take them, the stronger this is. It's very easy to think we want to really push into exercises to do more, but it's really not worth doing it. First of all, you're more likely to have an injury. But secondly, our body is very clever at finding other muscles to do the job. Hence, it's very easy to do lots of tummy work and find you haven't actually accessed this deep layer of abdominal muscles. You're just accessing the superficial layer. And then you can have all sorts of issues, back problems, pelvic floor issues. So really starting off, it's good to start off with these deep tummy muscles working for us. Then we come back to center, feet on the floor. And just take a moment of rest. And then we're going to come into a bridge. So we're going to come up onto our shoulders. So arms by your sides. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, tip your pelvis back. But this time roll up into bridge. Peel your spine up off the floor. One vertebra at a time to come up onto your shoulders. Just coming up to where your body feels happy to be. Inhale there. And exhale, roll slowly back down again, one vertebra at a time, as much as possible to come back down. Resting breath in at the bottom. Exhaling when you're ready to peel your spine up off the floor to come up onto your shoulders. Inhaling up a little higher. And when you're ready to exhale, roll slowly back down again, one vertebra at a time to come back down. And then we're going to come up into just a fairly low bridge, so just comfortable. Bend your arms and have your elbows on the floor, hands pointing up towards the ceiling, palms facing towards each other. Just make sure your shoulders are away from your ears and press down with the back of the shoulders. This is really great for your posture too. So press down with the backs of your shoulders, root down with the elbows. Inhale. Exhale, lift your right heel off the floor. Inhale, back down. Exhale, lift your left heel off the floor. Inhale, back down. One more time, just observing how this feels. So it's quite subtle. You'll feel one side of all the muscles around the core and around the pelvis working. Stick with this if you've only just started. If you've just had a baby, if you've just had an operation, anything else, stick with that. Don't do anything more. But if you're happy to build up more, exhale, press down to the backs of the shoulders and lift the right foot off the floor. Inhale, foot back down. Exhale, lift your left foot off the floor. Inhale, back down, keeping your pelvis level. So don't push for this. If you feel it's too much, just lift a heel off the floor, build towards it. Those same muscles are going to be working. If you even just take the weight off that foot. But if you feel ready to take the foot off, just building for it. And again, don't rush to feel you want to be doing the stronger version. Last time each side. And when you're ready to, come down. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Hug your knees and rock from side to side. And then having worked a lot of the tummy muscles, we're just going to give them a bit more of a stretch to finish off with. So remember, tight muscles anywhere are not healthy. We want them to be flexible and strong. And the same goes for abdominal muscles. So if we have very strong, tight abdominal muscles, no flexibility at all, it sends the breath up into our chest. So arms by your sides. And lift up into bridge. And lift up as high as you are happy to come. If you are happy to come with your hands underneath you, clasping your hands together, and walk your elbows towards each other, coming up higher, do, but only if this feels okay. You haven't got stitches that you need to be careful of. Always, of course, make sure that you've had the okay to be doing exercise from your doctor. So just staying here, lift up just to where your body feels happy to be. Make sure you're breathing. It's very easy to hold your breath when you're concentrating or trying. And then come back down. And again, bring your knees in towards your chest. Hug your knees and rock from side to side. And then we're going to finish off with a twist. So if you straighten your left leg and bring your right foot to rest on your left knee, shuffle your bottom off to the right a little bit. Take your arms out the side, palms facing up. And then take your knee over to the left. So your right hip comes up off the floor. You may want to have your left hand resting on your right thigh. You just encourage that thigh to head over, just to where feels good for you. So just coming into a twist here, stretching out the obliques. You'll get a stretch around the rib cage. You may feel happy to turn your head in the opposite direction to your knees, so off to your right. And breathe. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Think about taking your inhale all the way down to your right hip, all the way up to your armpit. And exhale fully. Inhaling all the way down to your right hip, all the way up to your armpit. Long, complete exhale. Keep breathing deeply here. And take your awareness around your body, making sure that you are happy to be where you are. You're not trying to be too big a stretch, too big a twist. So it should feel good. Just be where your body feels good. Then come back to center. And shuffle your bottom back to the middle. And change sides. So straighten your right leg. Bring your left foot to rest on that right knee. Arms out by your sides. Shuffle your bottom over to the left a little bit. And then take your knee over to the right. Then turn your head off to the left. Your right hand again resting on your left thigh, just encouraging that thigh to head over. But again, just to where feels good for you. Don't force it. Looking off the left so your neck gets a lovely stretch too. And again, breathe. Close your eyes if you're happy to. Think about taking your inhale all the way down to your left hip, all the way up to your armpit. And exhale fully. So breathing through the nose. Deep breaths. Each inhale down to that left hip, all the way up to the armpit. Long, full exhales. And again, just being aware, taking your awareness around your body, making sure that your body feels good here. And come back to center. Bringing the foot back on the floor, the other foot, shuffle back to the middle. Bring your knees in towards your chest and hug. And rock from side to side. Give your back a nice massage. And then bring your feet onto the floor. And just settle for a moment. And again, just be aware of the breath. As you inhale, draw your breath down into your belly. Feel your belly swelling on the inhale and falling on the exhale. Just observing again that breath and that connection with the tummy muscles and the breath. So just remind yourself to check in on your breath. So with each and every breath, your tummy muscles are in on the act. It also makes us feel much calmer. We are healthier when we breathe in and down into our diaphragm. So then if you roll over onto one side, use your hands to push yourself up to sitting. And just before you switch off, one thing that can be quite helpful is when we're doing the hip bones towards each other. You can do that anywhere. You don't have to be doing it lying down. So once you get used to that idea, you can be doing it just sitting in your car. Think about exhale, hip bones towards each other. Feel the belly flattening. Feel that engagement in those deep abdominal muscles. So a bit like doing pelvic floor exercises at odd moments throughout the day, which is good to do. You can visualize, just do this when you're sitting in a chair, at a table, if you're in the car, traffic jams, odd moments, think hip bones towards each other, belly flattens, squeeze your pelvic floor too. Get that extra, those muscles working as well.